What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how wide receivers can stand out at camps. We're mainly going to be focusing on what if you're a guy doesn't have the most film in the world, but you still want to obviously get recruited, you want to get started in that recruiting process, what you can do at camps to maybe separate yourself and draw some eyeballs. So that's what we're going to mainly be focused on here today. Hope this video gives you guys some value, but also you guys, if you want to become a faster receiver off the ball, you want to be more explosive at the top of the route, you want to have more balance at the top of the route, all the specific key things athletically that you need to be able to do to play the wide receiver position, check out that very first link in the description, fellas, for our wide receiver gym bundle. We give you specific exercises to improve your grip strength, speed off the ball, explosiveness at the top of the route, helps with your blocking, and obviously just your power production, all the specific exercise wide receivers need to do. So very first link in the description, it's 2 months of full workouts with sets and reps and rest days. Hope you guys can check that out soon. Let's get started. So first thing they're going to be looking for at camp, how you guys can draw some eyeballs, especially if you're not that guy who passes the eye test, is being able to sell vertical and have a sudden drop at the top of the break, right? You saw, everybody I'm sure saw that clip of Terrell Owens running routes at that one camp that he was at, and obviously it looks like he's still got it, but a guy of that level, like his age especially, right, going up against guys who are trying to play college football, the main difference that you see with him and those receivers when he ran that comeback route, I'm sure you guys saw it, is that just how violent his hips were. And when you see the difference between guys who are elite and guys who aren't elite route runners, is that usual drop in being able to actually sell vertical into the route, because it's all that change of direction. That's the most important thing. It's being able to have that explosion at the top of the route, the balance to be able to slow yourself down, like we were talking about before when we were referring back to those gym exercises, right? So you see this receiver, this is a high school receiver. Honestly, don't know his name, don't know really where he's from, but this clip was sent to me and I broke it down a little while ago. But he does such a great job of staying in stride, such a great job of pushing vertical and staying in this good pad level, is that's what makes a DB commit, right? This DB's playing a guessing game. So if you can display that and you can show, and you don't give him any indicators with your routes, that's how we get as much separation as possible. Because you see how to the last possible second, he is in the same pad level, he is in the same stride, and he is keeping the same speed. That's what makes it, if we can make a DB run as hard as he can, we should get separation every single time, because I know when I'm making the break. Think of it like this. Think of it, the DB, think of it like you're running as fast as you can towards these goalposts, and somebody's going to yell drop randomly, and you got to get out on a 45-degree angle break as fast as you can. You're going to have a big drift at this point. So if you know when you're supposed to be able to make this break and the DB doesn't, we should have the advantage every single time. And that's the difference that you see. How you could get the attention of a college coach at a camp like that is display that. Show that you could get up into a route full speed and just be able to drop right now on a dime. And how we're able to drop too, fellas, is your hips want to be violent and you want to drop your chin to your knees. So many guys, what they do and what kills them at the top of the route when they run comebacks at a camp, when they're doing whatever, they're trying to showcase their abilities, is that their chest will be straight up and they'll try to turn out of it. They'll try to open up their shoulder rather than get your chest forward, bring your chin to your knee and drive off of this thing and actually run, because that's ultimately the goal. The goal is to have the same speed in and the same speed out, and you create energy at the top of the break. It's not about slowing down, right? Yeah, you're going to slow down, but that violent hip drop creates energy to be able to explode you back to this point, because ultimately it is a race to the ball, and you want to be able to win this race to the ball, because I had an explosive drop and I dropped my hips suddenly. So how you can stand out, fellas, when it comes to route running, like if you don't pass the eye test, you got to bring something to the table. If you have average route running and you're average size, you're not going to get recruited. That's just at the end of the day how it is. But again, like, and maybe if you're a big guy, like let's say you're competing against a guy, let's say you're both 6'3", let's say you're both 185 pounds, right? Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe like 205. Let's say you're both 6'3", 205. Who's they going to recruit? They're going to recruit the guy who can make more plays, who could get open, and who could finish the play, right? And that's how we do this. That's how you guys can stand out. That's how you guys can separate yourself, okay? Let's watch the thing full speed one more time. A coach at a camp, if you don't have any film, he's going to want to see you with his own eyes, right? He's probably not going to offer you on the spot, but if you can stand out and showcase the things that they're looking for, which is what we're discussing in this video, then that can draw some eyeballs, and then obviously that can get you started in the process, right? That's how camps work. So now, second thing I want to talk about is at the college level, you know what you're going to see? You're going to see a lot of press, okay? So now I get this all the time. Every time I talk about press, people are like, oh, well, I don't see press, coach. I only see zone coverage. Well, if that's all you're going to work, then you're not going to be able to get off of press. When you get to camps, you're going to be doing one-on-ones. They're going to want to see how well you do against DBs who are jamming you, trying to get in your face, and that's what you got to be able to showcase, because at that next level, you're going to see some big DBs, you're going to see some fast DBs, some explosives, some strong guys. How are you going to respond to that? And do you have the tools in your tool belt to be able to get off of that press look, right? So watch the thing full speed. So this is a great example of just what you can do when you have a guy who chokes you right off that line, who jams you, tries to knock you completely off that route, and you just got to stay with it. This is a great job finishing the play right here and not quitting on this play because he got jammed off the line, right? So many receivers, they're so afraid of this right here. They're just terrified terrified. They'll come up to the line and they'll be on their heels almost, and their chest will be straight up in the air, and they're leaning back because they're trying, when a DB lunges at them, they're going to lean back, and they feel like, oh, I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm just going to get up into the route. What you can do, especially if you're evenly matched with the guy, if he's bigger than you, then yeah, you probably don't want to necessarily get in a hand fight with the guy, just like how a jiu-jitsu guy's not going to want to box with a boxer, just like how a boxer's not going to want to grapple with the jiu-jitsu guy. You got to play to your strengths. But if you feel you're about the same size as this DB and it's a good matchup, what you want to do is you want to stand your ground. You want to keep your pad level. Don't let him control everything. You're either the hammer or the nail. So when he comes off here and he tries to choke me right off that neck, I keep my good pad level. I keep a good strong base, and I'm constantly moving forward. I'm fighting those hands. I got a plan. You know what I mean? My job is to not panic right here. Don't let him just completely win the rep, and I just continue to fight his hands and swat him off so I can push up vertical, because you see how off balance he is right here? When a DB lunges at you, fellas, if you guys can just stay relaxed or stay patient or use your range, like if you're a smaller dude and he lunges at you and you use range like a split release or like a slide release or a step back, whatever, and then get up into the route, he's going to be off balance because he's lunging at you, right? Now, most of the time in these one-on-ones, 7-on-7s, it's not realistic because these DBs will jump the snap count. In this case, this is a pretty realistic jam. Because you see, snap of the ball, he's going off the receiver. The receiver moved, then that's when he started to jam, right? So maybe off the line, if you're a smaller guy and you know it looks like this guy's going to get physical just based off his pad level, maybe I give him something quick. Like I give him just like a quick little split release, or I give him like a little slide release, try to set a trap for him, right? Rather than just run right into him. But again, if he's going to get hands, you got to have a plan. You can't panic. You got to keep a good pad level to showcase that you can get off this jam. Nothing worse at a camp when a dude just can't get off the jam, right? And a lot of the time, they guess the snap count. I understand that, and it's not realistic with football. But again, if you guys are in this situation, you're at a camp and you got to showcase your skills, and maybe you don't have film, this is something you got to be able to display. Can you get off a press? That's what they're going to ask. Can he beat a physical guy? Is he just going to get pushed around at the line? If so, we're not going to want him. Okay, so just make sure we don't panic. Good pad level, and you guys have a plan for your hands. Watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So again, great job getting off this jam. Great job pushing vertical by this receiver and creating as much separation as possible and taking advantage of that DB being off balance. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the last thing that can make you stand out, and it's just overall just smoothness and efficiency with your cuts and your breaks. Okay, so we talked about it a little bit before, like being able to sell vertical, being able to have that sudden drop, but can you eliminate wasted steps, wasted motion, and wasted time at the top of your break? So we're going to be looking at this diamond release, right? So diamond release is when you have an inside shade DB, you take 3 steps. So in this case, you'd go right, left, right, and you get him to think fade, and you'd slip back underneath right here running a slant, right? So now, this is something we talk a lot about, especially on this channel, and it's just how can you eliminate those little steps that just screw guys over and that make them get covered. So let's watch the thing full speed. So this is what they're going to be looking for in terms of your route running, because if you guys can efficiently get in and out of breaks like this, it's very, very tough to deny it, right? Because like, again, the reason why DBs get so much success oftentimes on routes is not because of what they did correct, right? It's because of what the wide receiver did wrong. If I'm a wide receiver and I do something incorrect, that gives the DB time to recover, that makes him look good, and that's how he makes a play on this thing. But if I do all the little details right, the devil's in the details, especially at the college level and especially at the level after that, the details matter, right? That's why you see guys like Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, they're such technicians, Stephon Diggs, because the details matter, right? So now when I come off into this diamond release here, you see how he goes up and it's just 1, 2, 3. But on that third step, this is the only step he's cutting on, right? What you see a lot of high school guys do, and I've seen this when you watch all those clips of like the rivals camps and all that stuff, and when you pay attention to these little things, you realize, oh man, these guys got a lot of flaws in their game. They make this break right here, but then their left foot and then their right foot, and then they maybe take 2 more steps, and they're choppy at the top of the break after a single speed cut. We want to just do one cut. I open up my hips like this. I'm pushing off of my cut leg, and then I'm able to get out of this thing. You see how his third step's already down this route? Second and third step are already down the 45. That doesn't give him time to react, fellas. But if I'm going up here and I make this break and then I take 2 steps and they don't really go nowhere, that's giving him all day to react, and he could drive on this ball, because when you think about it, we don't have that much separation. I mean, we have space, but we don't have that much space, right? Because it's in the goal line, it's in tight. So those little details that can create you maybe a yard or 2 of separation, those absolutely 100% matter. So make sure to be able to stand out at the camp. We got to eliminate wasted steps, wasted motion, and wasted time at the top of your breaks so you can get out of things smoothly and create separation, okay? So let's watch the thing full speed again one more time. Great job getting out of this thing in just 1 step and being able to accelerate back on this slant portion of the route. That's a great route right there. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I really always appreciate the feedback. I hope this video gave you guys some value. And again, fellas, you want 2 months of specific workouts with sets and reps with the specific exercise to improve your grip strength, which will help with your hands and your catching ability, explosiveness at the top of the route, off the ball, your power, overall balance, all the things that are going to help wide receivers improve on the field, not just regular exercises to make you bigger, make you have more muscle mass, whatever. It's all the specific things wide receivers need to do. Check out that very first link in the description, fellas. It's a 2-month long gym workout plan. Hope you guys can check it out. I'll see you guys next time.